of you.
Yes, it's kind of a scary version of Home Wizards. Eric Stromer.
I'm terrified. I'll never sleep again.
Yeah, well, Cindy Dole here, and every year we love to spend the 2 hours talking about the whole possibility of living in a haunted home, having ghosts somehow following you. Maybe it's someone that you loved and passed on. So maybe it's a stranger that they're haunting you in this home. And the closest experience that I can share was when we went to my dad's house with this camera to see what we thought. According to the caregivers who were taking care of my dad, there were some doors that were opening and closing, and some feeling of cold air, and even my dad would say, "Who's that?" and was seeing things.
Really?
And so we had the photographer there. Are you all of a sudden you're getting the chills?
No, I just am realizing that I'm probably dead inside because I wanted to have these things happen. And
I know.
Never have.
And so the creepiest thing was that we're videotaping with this psychic as we're going from room to room, and out of the blue, this was at night, and we're in this one area, the den, where she says, I feel kind of a dark sense over in this corner. And at that moment, all of the lights, all the power, boom, went out. And I know, okay, maybe that was, it was a fluke.
Coincidence, electrical.
But doesn't that feel like for all the lights?
That feels a little much, yeah.
It was, yeah. And then the other incident was when I was a reporter in Arizona, I did a whole investigative piece on ghosts, and we actually found audio tape, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, EVPs. But, this was on a reel-to-reel, the old-fashioned recording, sure. And this guy who swears that a ghost was haunting him when he would record in the garage. He had a band. And while they were recording their music, in the middle of it was this voice, "I would like to." And it's like they couldn't have edited that because it was there. The tape was not cut. That's the kind where you have to splice the tape, to make an edit. What do you think about that?
I think it was probably a disgruntled keyboardist that died and wanted to be in the band, and they wouldn't let him in.
Well, let's find out from the Hollywood Ghost Hunters, a couple of guys, well, actually several guys, who make their living scaring people as stuntmen in a lot of horror movies and other things, and now their passion is really investigating ghosts. Rick McCullum and Ed McCay. So thanks for being here, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
So Rick McCullum, before we talk about it, how do people become a member of the Ghost Hunters? Because it's an elite group.
Well, one of the qualifications is that everybody has to be in the horror film business. We don't let people call in and try to become members. We try to keep it a smaller group. One of the things that I was hoping to say today is that we do have a new member. And Kane and I had spoken about this.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Who's Kane? We know who Kane is.
Kane Hodder plays...
As in Jason.
Played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th.
And Eric knows him, right?
I know Kane because I used to work out in Calabasas with him. He's a big man, and he used to always,
Did he
monopolize the leg press.
But he was friendly to you?
No, he was a really nice guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's scarier than Jason is in real life. But we have an opening, and we'd had... Kane and I were the co-founders, so we had been waiting for the right time to say that Ed Ackerman is our newest member.
Hey!
Oh,
you're kidding! Hey, Ed!
Seriously?
Oh, because you've been on the waiting list.
I've been on the waiting list.
Wait a minute, this is like the Oscars.
This is weird.
Wow.
This is amazing.
It's in a ceremony, please.
I don't have a speech assembled for this.
Oh, my.
No, thank you. That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
Okay.
Improv. Thanks.
So what does this mean now for him?
Now
Ed?
that means he's going up on our website as one of our hunters. He will be one of the first guys we call to go to the hunts.
Wow.
Can you believe you look shocked?
No, I know.
You're crying. You're tearing up.
I'm tearing up a little bit. Yeah, no.
There's a round of applause.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so seriously, when people hear the words Hollywood Ghost Hunters, is it for real? Come on. What are you guys really up to? You guys are stuntmen. Do you really know about ghosts?
Yeah, actually, in my case, I've hunted ghosts for about 30 years. Kane for about 20 years. Ed has been doing it quite a while. That's one of the things that we have to have. They have to have a real interest in ghost hunting.
A passion, right?
Yeah, and not just want to be part of the group. So we have members that are directors, Adam Green and Richard Friedman, people who do the special effects like Robert Pendergraft. And one of our key phrases is that you can show us anything you want, but you're not going to fool us. We've got the actors, stuntmen, directors, CGI people.
I guess so, right.
The people that make the masks. If you try and fool us, we will catch
So
you.
you guys know the technology and the illusion aspect of it.
So
Yeah.
you know a fake and a fraud in
Yeah.
terms of someone pretending that their place is haunted or trying to stage a video, like all these YouTube videos that
Yeah.
try to show poltergeist activity.
And that actually happens more than you would think.
What's the first thing that got you into this?
Actually, I lived in a haunted house in Texas.
Oh my gosh, tell the story.
There's the first thing that happened. I had been estranged from my dad for years, and finally we got back together. And I drove down from Chicago with a friend of mine to visit him in Texas, and I did all the driving, so I was pretty tired. And my dad had to drop one of his workers off at this bar. It had been his birthday; they were celebrating. So I went in to go to sleep, and the bedroom was had a canopy bed. It was a lady's bed. And I went in and had a little slide lock on the door, and I laid down, and moonlight was coming in, and I was laying there, and I heard, so I'm not the real scared type, so I looked up, and I saw the air conditioning vent. I thought, nah, the air conditioner turned off, So I laid back down, I hear,
Wow.
so I'm thinking, does he have a dog? So I get up, and I look under the bed, I look in the closet, I'm like, what's making that? So I sit back down, and I sit up, and I'm looking out, and I can see everything because of the moonlight. And right behind my right ear, on my neck, something went.
Ooh,
And I mean,
that almost sounds violent.
Yeah, where you could feel the heat on the neck and the breath of the air. Well, I was a little unnerved, and I got up, and I couldn't open the door, so I just snapped the lock off. I just popped the door, and the lock flew off. I went outside. I was standing out on the front lawn when my dad and my friend came back. And my dad gets out, and he walks up, and he goes, he got you, didn't he? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, I said, you know about that? He goes, happens all the time. So that was the start of.
No, wait a
Wow.
minute.
And so who supposedly was this entity?
Well, it's funny because we actually found out. There was a guy named Rich Hand who used to pitch for the Texas Rangers. And we did a home decorating remodeling show down there, which kind of fits in with your
that
home
is.
wizard. And he was one of our exhibitors. And he was telling us he had a haunted house over near ours. And I said, well, ours is haunted too. I said, I turn out the lights and lock all the doors, and in the morning they're all wide open. And he goes, do you live at such and such address? And I said, that's our house.
You're
Right?
kidding.
No, and he goes, well, it's linked with our house. And I said, well, how is that? And he said, well, there were gangsters back, in the Prohibition times, and they lived in his house. And we went down and saw his house. It had secret passageways and everything. It was really cool. But they had hid there, and they very murderous people. They actually, the townspeople finally chased them and caught them on my dad's property and hung them in the backyard. So his house and my house, both of them would have at different times the same entities in it. So it was pretty cool. So we found it was these three guys that had gotten hung during Prohibition times.
So a lot of times the most haunted homes are the places where there's some really angry, violent, terrible, tragic things that have happened. Right?
Yeah, there really is. A lot of people seem to think that it's people who don't know that they're dead, which, people that die really suddenly, somebody shoots them in the back. They never have an idea that it was coming. Or people who were just mean, nasty people like these three that just don't want to go down the tunnel to see where they're going in the next life. And they kind of stick around, and they're the same as they were in life. They're mean in life. They're mean in the afterlife. So.
And so here's a question for you. Did you get into the horror genre because of your experience in this scenario with this haunting thing, or do you think that it influenced you because you are around it so much that you wanted to continue that?
No, at the time, I had not done a movie yet. That was about 33 years ago when I lived in this house. And it does make a difference in the horror business now, because when you're seeing a scene, you see it through the ghost hunting eyes. And you're thinking, would this really be scary? So like Kane and I, when, we have to set up stunts a lot of times, we'll say, what would really be scary if we were ghost hunting? So it kind of overlaps a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
And talk about when you and Kane, and we'll include you more, Ed. I didn't mean to not
Oh,
include
no,
you.
I'm just hanging out.
But
It's cool.
no, but that you were filming at the same prison where they did Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
And there was this dark tunnel. And you and Kane were both feeling something, right? Or seeing something.
Actually, that's two stories combined. The place with the Shawshank Redemption was Mansfield Reformatory.
Okay.
And this is actually where our group got started. Kane and I were both interested in ghost hunting, but we didn't know it, that we each liked it. We were doing our own thing. And if you've ever seen Mansfield, it's 5 stories of cell blocks. And we were all the way in the back. It was like 3 a.m, and we were done, and we started walking back, and he said, let's ghost hunt. So we were looking around. As we're walking down the way, we see this black shadow walk across in front of us.
Hold that thought. We have to take a break. Listening to Home Wizards, Eric Stromer and Cindy
My
Dole.
eyes are just wide
With
open.
us are the Hollywood Ghost Hunters. The newest member is Hello.
Hi.
Ed Ackerman.
Eddie, baby, you
Hello.
made it. Congratulations.
And Rick McCullum. These are guys who make a living out of scaring the bejesus out of you, but they also take pride in making sure that if it's a ghost, it really is a ghost. We're going to find out more about how do you know if your home might be kind of scary. Home Wizards, Cindy Dole and Eric Stormer back after this. Well, if you believe in spooks, I believe with you. If you don't believe in spooks, we might turn you into a believer, because with us are the Hollywood Ghost Hunters, Rick McCullum, and the newest member, Ed Ackerman,
Yeah.
Big Ed.
whose girlfriend just texted him congratulations.
Yeah, I just got a text from my
That's
girlfriend.
Great. That's
and,
great.
Yeah.
And I'm with Eric Stormer. My name's Cindy Dole, where we love to help you improve your home and improve your life. And that includes making sure that your home is ghost-free, if you want it to be.
Right, and we were talking off air, and I was asking you about your involvement with this, and you were saying you bring sometimes these spirits home with you after you've been exposed to them, and so how do you keep them from coming through your front door?
Usually what happens when we go, what I always do is I stop when I'm leaving and tell them, you are not allowed to come with me. You're not allowed to follow me home. You stay here. You are not welcome in my house. And it's surprising that just little things like that can actually help.
Right.
That's one of the best things to do. I mean, I know there's people like to sage their house and stuff like that. I have absolutely no belief that sage does anything. That's just my belief, because I've never seen
So
it
yours
work
is
on
more
anything.
intention, like get
Yeah.
out, stay out.
Well,
It's my
if something
house.
has followed you home, it's intelligent. Okay, there's two types of haunting. There's intelligent haunting and a residual. Intelligent is when it's interacting with you. So if something follows you, it's intelligent.
And
Now,
you said that those are usually the bad ones.
well, when something follows you home, it's generally not the good ghosts. It's usually something a little more menacing. So, you have to just tell it. The only way to get rid of it is tell it to get out, and you have to be very stern about it.
So give me an example of what you say exactly.
Oh, I actually, a couple girls I know, they're called the Harley Twins. I had gone to their house, and they had a very persistent ghost. And it's a funny story, because I was telling the girl, they're both really sweet, I said, tell him to get out. And she goes, well, I know you probably don't have anywhere else to go. I said, no, hold it, no. Tell him to get out, right? She goes, well, could you please? And I said, wait, pretend he's your old boyfriend and he stole your Camaro, right? So she goes, you have to leave. And right then the door bursts open, and her twin sister comes in, and she goes, you leave my sister alone. You get out of here. And the both of them started in screaming. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, they stopped and they said, do you think that would get rid of him? I said, would have got rid of me.
Well, and speaking of voices, because when you guys, as the Hollywood Ghost Hunters, do truly investigate, because you believe in debunking all the hullabaloo, you want it to be a truly pure, real investigation, right?
Yes.
You use devices and you record audio.
Yes.
And we have with us a clip of what is called an EVP, which stands for?
Electronic voice phenomena.
Okay. And what set it up? What is it that you heard?
Well, I think Ed could tell you this better.
Yeah. No, we were at the location, and there's a guest bedroom, 2 guest bedrooms in the downstairs, and we had spent some time in the one. We weren't getting anything. I spent some time in there alone in the dark in the bathroom, and you just weren't feeling it. You weren't feeling it. We moved over to the second bedroom, and there's a little, the air temperature changes a little bit. There's a feeling about the room that's a little unsettling, and I kind of knew that's where we wanted to be. And it also helped that when we walked in and opened the door to this bedroom, we saw shadows move across the wall, and I easily debunked them. Rick kind of remained skeptic. And then he tried doing a bunch of different tests to dismiss those. And we're still kind of up in the air about the shadows. But right after that, we started running an EVP session, trying to collect spirit voices on tape. And in the clip, you'll hear Rick pull out the recorder, and he starts talking. He puts it on his bed, on the bed down there, and he moves it around a little bit. And then you hear my voice say, I'm going to take a base reading of the room. What I mean by that is I was walking around with a meter called a K2 meter that picks up electronic, can't even talk.
That's okay.
Electromagnetic field.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I walked away from the room. Rick stepped away from the bed completely. And after you hear me say, I'm going to take a base reading, there's a couple beats there. And then you hear a very strong whisper. And it wasn't me. I wasn't in the room. Rick starts talking over it, and you'll hear it.
Okay.
And I was about 15 feet away from the recorder, and it's directly into the recorder.
And the spirit says what?
You'll be able to hear
you'll
it.
Okay.
hear
All
it.
right. Let's hear it, Seth.
base reading. Rick and Ed in the second bedroom. This is the bedroom where they have said
Okay, that was it, Seth. And you would hear he said no.
Yes,
it sounds like the guy back in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
That spirit back in your home.
Actually, and it was right into the recorder where there's no. I was sitting there watching it. I was sitting on a futon, and Ed was to my right in the bathroom with the K2 meter. So there was nobody within at least 10 feet of this, and it's very definitely saying no.
And what's it saying no to? No what?
It's actually, I believe, saying no to when Ed says I'm going to take a baseline reading, because as soon as he came out, I walked back into the bathroom. He said, I'm not getting anything in the bathroom. So I took the K2 and I was standing in there, and I walked in there, and I wasn't in there 10 seconds, and it lit up all 5 lights.
Let's play it one more time, Seth.
take a base reading. Rick and Ed in the second.
Okay, wow. What do you think about that, Eric?
Well, again, another disgruntled person that was in life a few moments back. And
well, talk about more of the instruments that you use. Do you use cameras, certain kind of cameras, audio recordings?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What is a K? So the K2 meter is what? Electromagnetic
frequencies. It picks up that in the air. Electrical sources are known to give off electromagnetic fields. Computers, appliances. But in theory, if you walk around a room and you check a base reading of the room, and you get to see what kind of electromagnetic energy is out there, and if all of a sudden in the middle of the investigation it spikes, you got to figure out where that's coming from.
That's kind of like the movie Poltergeist, isn't it? Where they were saying the, it's like the TV or all that stuff.
And that movie Poltergeist, a lot of tragic things happen to the cast members after the fact. Yeah. So what's your feeling on that?
Well, I kind of have the feeling that some of that may just be things following it home, just like we were talking earlier, and could be coincidence. But a lot of movies that have dealt with the paranormal or horror or Satan have had a lot of things happen to the cast members. So I think there might be a little bit of a correlation there.
I mean, you guys are stuntmen in some of these scary movies.
Yeah, with mostly actors. That is mostly an actor.
Yeah, I don't do stunts. I break things if I do stunts. Yeah.
So I mean, the things that we've been on have not been. They've been really good movies. Hatchet 1, Hatchet 2, were really good horror movies. But I think the things that are like The Exorcist are more things that would bring people out. Something that has more of an evil, bent to the movie that would kind of bring things out. I mean, I've had a circumstance where I was writing a script, and I wrote about a battle between angels and demons. And this one demon is getting ready to kill the cop and says, if you accept me as your Lord and Master, I'll save you. And he sticks a crucifix in his face. Well, the demon kills him. Well, that night, as I was walking out, things started coming through my walls, black shapes coming through my walls like they were trying to hit me.
Black shapes?
Black shapes, yeah. And about a month later, I was talking to Robert Pendergraft, and he said, tell me about this. So I said, well, it was when I wrote this. And he said, read it to me. So I read it to him, and after I was done, it was about 1 a.m. I walked out to get something to drink, and my dining room was much darker than the kitchen, and they're both on the same lights from outside. I have blinds, so there's no lights that can come in except for, ambient light. And it stopped me because it's never been like that. I've lived there for, 18 years. And as I was standing there, I saw something start to stand up in the darkness. So, I immediately put my hands up. I thought it was a burglar, so I was getting ready to defend myself. Well, it stood up, and as it went past, the cutouts that go to the dining room, to the kitchen, as it went past there was more light, and I could see a head and then shoulders, and it went up, and it went up, and it went up, and it blocked out the light on the microwave. So I knew something was between me and the light. And I'm 6'4", and I weigh 270 pounds. When it went up and it was like 6 inches higher than me, I started to get a little nervous. So I stood there looking at it for like 15 to 30 seconds, jumped over, hit the lights, and it was gone. But other people have come in and had, different things happen with that.
How are you guys spending Halloween?
I think we take the day off, actually.
Yeah, it's probably,
can we come
amateur
with you?
hour. Right?
Can we come with you on an investigation?
Yes.
I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in.
You
and I think
guys-
Eric's in too.
You
Yeah?
absolutely can come with us on an investigation.
Love that.
Your website is?
HollywoodGhostHunters.com.
Not everyone can be a member, but you can get on the waiting list, right?
Well, no, we have to invite people to be on the waiting list.
You think I have what it takes to be a ghost hunter?
Yes, I think Cindy does too.
I would love to.
All right, we're in.
All right, we're going to talk to you again soon. Thank you, guys. Have
You're
a happy
welcome.
Halloween.
Congratulations, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Happy Halloween.
And congratulations. Congratulations, Ed Ackerman.
Oh,
All
thank
right,
you.
coming up next, a couple more ghost hunters who are going to talk about how do you know if your home is indeed haunted. A spooky version of Home Wizards here today. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We're back after this on KFWB News Talk 980.